So welcome to our Monday Vision Circle. And as you know, in the Sacred Ground Collective, which is kind of where I put my work after Michelle got her heart transplant, just created a platform. This is one of the circles that came out of three: broadcasters, time travel, clear the Akashic records, and then the Guardian Circle. We've all put that into a Vision Circle. So this is for you. This is your time to do exactly what I just said. What is my piece to do? And hear it, and then it's in your hands. What you do, don't do, is in your hands. And we'll be adding other circles. We have a Thursday morning healing circle that Sue has instigated and hosts. That's at 9, from 9 till 10:30 or sooner. I mean, whenever they're finished, they're finished. And we have other circles that are going to be coming, probably more kind of the first of the year. So our community certainly is expanding because of the wisdom and that you guys have, and that's emerging. We also have till the end of the week, through the thin veil time, the project where we're focusing into the mass consciousness of humanity on trauma-based storage experiences and patterns, to see what we can do in, from now until, I think, till next Monday, actually. So more about that. Okay, so let's mute ourselves and set our circle. So take a deep breath, get a sense of being in your physical body. The opportunity to be in the physical body is amazing. It is a place of power. It is a place not just to experience, but to change things. That's why you're here. So we ask that our bodies, as we meet, be touched with that vibration of vibrancy and rejuvenation, of calm and of peace. And we give thanks for the role that this bodysuit plays in our life. We meet on the sacred triad, in a ground of sacred ground, including the female triad of Gaia, Sophia, and Grace. And we know that the energies that these beings hold for us is stronger than it's ever been on the planet. And we give thanks for those energies of rooted stability, of clear discernment and authority, and of love to change the world. The circle is here holding a pillar, each of us within the circle, a pillar. We extend the vibrational field of what is created today to include all of those who are connected to our vision circle, to all that they love and are connected to, and ask that it totally encase the energy field of the mass consciousness of humanity. All that we do will be done for all involved to lighten and bless. We're cocooned within the triple cocoon, within our hazmat suits of absorption for balance. We are here to hear. And our circle is now opened. And so it is. Okay, so we're going to place ourselves in the circle, name where you are on the planet. And if there are individuals, even animals, people put animals in the circle, they put issues in the circle, anything that you'd like to put in the circle, so that the energy and the teams and the beings who are here with us will pay special attention to them also in a healing and blessing way. You don't have to give names, but just a number. So Sharon Raji Maynard here, Woodby Island. Storm is passing by. We might get it tomorrow, but it's really lovely to be warm and to know that I can cook food if I need to. So I'm here, and the quality I want to bring into the circle is community and 12 people. And I'll pass to Linda.
Linda Savage in North County, San Diego. We are sort of flirting with a storm right now, but it's probably not as intense as the one that may come to Whidbey. But let's see. The quality I would like to put in the circle is compassion for those that are both individually and collectively dealing with trauma. And I put 7 in the circle. And let's go with Sue.
Thank you, Linda. I am Sue Rooney from Issaquah, Washington. I don't know how to bring this down to just a couple of words. I guess I want to bring into this circle willingness to share information. And I'll call on Evie.
Hi, I'm Effie Boykin. I'm in Anacortes, Washington. It is blowing around, and I want to bring in clarity and resolution. And I'm bringing 6 people into the circle today. I will call on Arlie.
Hi, I'm Arlie in New Zealand. We had low cloud cover and storms for 3 days that actually grounded all propeller planes here. So my husband was unable to get home for 2.5 days, ended up driving from the north end of the island. So we deserve our lovely springtime day today. I'm bringing in the quality of hope and springtime expansion, that feeling of growth and bursting forth. And I would like to bring in 8 people and a cat into the circle. And I will choose Angelique.
Thank you, Arlie. Hello, everyone from the other side, from the Netherlands again. And like you are having a storm now, we had this last week for a couple of days, really, really, really huge storms, even so that I had to go out of bed at night to see what was happening on my rooftop. But that was quite okay. And we have soft weather now, and even sunny, really sunny as well, autumn weather. And I would like to bring in 9 people and healing of the collective heart as a quality. And I go to Audrey.
Hi, I'm Audrey, and I'm in Northeast PA, and it's a beautiful day here, actually. I would like to bring in 11 people, and quality, trying to figure out the words for it. Connectedness between females and of feminine divine. I call on Cinda.
Cinda from Portland, Oregon, and I'd like to bring in the energy of being in awe. And I'd like to bring in specifically 4 people. And Back to you, Sharon.
I need to bring in 15.
Good job, Sue. What about Audrey? Did you bring in a number? How many? I don't. What did?
11.
Oh yeah, I got that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So we have 72 in our circle. I was on a call in connection to the 1,000 goddesses arising on Saturday, this last Saturday. And a variety of, some people you would have known, some people you wouldn't have known of, so a variety of new people. And they had over close to 300 people that they brought into the circle. It was like, oh my gosh, that was really great. Really great. So before we go into our work, let's just take a moment and just imagine those 72 individuals that are being placed into the circle, including the cat as an individual cat. And we're holding specifically compassion and clarity for resolution, doors to open for new information, for their hope to be reawakened, that their heart be touched, that they be held in the triad at that feminine divine, and we move them into the hands of their causal team, the tag collective healers, and ask that they be moved consistently in their journey to their highest good with love, compassion, and clarity, totally cocooned in the guardian circle. And so it is. So let's go around if there's anything that of seeing in the world. When we did time travel, which was like the going through the Akashic records and gathering them up and going to the point of beginning, what we'd often do is point out in the world a situation that we wanted to go back and gather up and eliminate. We don't necessarily, that may happen in some of your journeys, it may not, but if there's anything on your mind or your heart that you just want to say and put in the circle before we start, we're just going to go around and we're going to tag, even though somebody will tag you. If there's really, like, I'm fine, you totally can pass. So I think what's on my heart today is similar to what some of you have said, is greater cohesiveness and strength in what I call rootedness, in the roots of sisterhood, and that we can take more concrete steps in a model that says we are together in our uniqueness. And passing to Sue.
Did you say me? Okay. So I have gathered a bunch of information over the last week. I have acted on some, and I have brought it together. And this morning I was sitting across the table from my roommate, and I got this whole new awareness. Instead of going back and changing the past, I saw the past totally different from a different awareness. And it freed me from a big chunk of the past. And that, it just changes my perspective on the future. So I'm really excited about that, because I'm going to continue to bring in new information and take action and allow it to change me. It just feels totally different. It feels absolutely totally different. Audrey?
It just reminds me of a movie I watched yesterday, and I don't know the name of it, but they were going into this little room and everybody thought it was about going back in time to change an event that changed their life. But really, they were faced with the event that happened and how it affected people in a good way. So it's the same basic premise as, like, you know, you want to change something in the past, but boy, look at what happened. Yeah, so I guess it's acceptance and seeing the bigger picture of life, right? And just that neat connectedness that you're bringing into that movie I saw yesterday. I don't know what's coming up for me as I have the book. I have 5 boxes of books out on my porch. I finally opened them today. So I'm super excited. And I'm just, just taking the steps. And I tag Linda.
The only thing that keeps repeating in my head is faith in the divine feminine. So, Angelique?
Oh, thank you. I have to share, or I have nothing I have to, but I love to share that over the past weekend, I have made a huge shift in consciousness. Maybe not everybody knows, but I'm really on a healing journey over the past 4 months, 3-4 months. And I was asked to write a chapter in an ebook for 3 sisters, and I did. And the first draft was, I don't know. I woke up like Saturday morning crying, and then I knew I don't have to write this. I have to make it from another point of view. And it was about my experiences over the past month, but not about me especially, because it's a collective wound. And it's about going back in time. And I got also these images from the witch hunts again. And really big insights about that, what is happening in my family. And that freed me as well, because it's not at all about me. And it's about something totally different. And I could make the shift for really being there as a transformation point for what is happening globally. And seeing it in a total different light, because it's a wake-up call, you know. It's more like we have to do something. And when we do this together, whatever, I mean, we don't have to go inside anything, but just what we are doing already, working with the positive and sending out the positive. And then that's also resonating on the ones who need the healing, also in my family and in other families and in all families or whatever. And for the witch hunts, I love to share, it has never only been for women, because in the Netherlands, there were many men, and they were called the bokkenrijders, like goat riders, and they were hunted even like 500 years ago. And that was in the southern part of the Netherlands, especially men. So I think that we also have to really take this also within our hearts, that there's not only healing needed for us women, but also for men, especially. I mean, this whole burden they are carrying around as well in their spirit and in their beings. So, and this morning I got a synchronizing email from someone who is really hunted by the ex-wife of her husband. And she is really also named like a witch, and she has to come before court because it's going about child custody. And I think you know, this whole energy is still around and it's asking to be healed. That's what I feel, really what I feel. It's really, really asking to be healed globally. And I think we cannot really be aware of this enough, you know. And it's not that we have, again, not have to dive into these energies, but just open up our hearts and heal, just heal. That's what I love to say. And I'm happy about the shifting because it's really freeing me from a lot of, you know, it's better to know and to understand than to be in some kind of a mist and not knowing where you're going to. So I'm grateful and I love to share this and go to Cinda. Thank you.
Angelique, I wonder if there's something astrological or an anniversary of something with the witch hunt coming up, because it just seems to be everywhere right now that, you know, it's popping up. And so you guys are all nodding your head, so there must be something to that. What do I want to say? Last week, I put into the circle safety because my two sons went on a bachelor party on a boat with like 15 guys on a houseboat on a lake in Nevada. And boys, booze, and boats don't go together. And so I was freaking the F out. And anyway, they got home yesterday safe and sound, everybody, and they had a freaking blast. So maybe they're more grown up than I give them credit for. Let's see. I don't know. I'm just really happy to be here, and you guys all feel just so scrumptious to me. I'm happy to be in the circle. So let me see. Evie, have you gone? Evie? No, okay.
So what I want to bring in is elimination of fear-based media, and which feeds the ongoing divide of you're wrong, I'm right, on all spectrums of humanity, from political to all of our systems. So I have chosen to be very selective around my energy space and what gets in and what doesn't get in, and have recognized a level of sensitivity about myself that I've always had since a child, and not really understanding the implications of that until probably the last couple of months. So that's what I'm going to place today. Thank you. And who is left? Harley.
Two things. First off, Angelique, somewhere in Amsterdam, there is, or just outside it, there is a special scale. And this guy was considered to be so honest that if his scale weighed your wife or your daughter, she could never be accused of being a witch. The idea back then was that witches were really light and didn't weigh what they should. So this guy actually ran an honest scale, and men in the Netherlands used to bring their wives from far, far away and their daughters to be weighed here, because then they could never, ever be accused of being lightweights, therefore being witches. So I think that that's kind of a beacon of hope, even from those times. And the next thing, I'm working on anti-COVID protocols. Sharon, you suggested last time I was here that maybe Susan could come up with a harmonic to work with, not in this meeting, but in another meeting that we were on. And that harmonic has happened. And this other woman and I are now in charge of finding a delivery method for this harmonic. And the conversations have just been so exciting, and the thoughts have been so exciting, that I just wanted to share this joy doing this work. And that's me. So
What's interesting about the scale, Arlie, it triggers, for what it triggers for me is how many ways souls in female bodies have kept themselves safe. And if you're too light, you could be labeled a witch. Is that do some of us carry the decision to hold our weight in relationship to that type of thinking? I'm certainly going to explore it with some of my clients.
it wasn't that the women were actually light. It was that the people doing the weighing were liars.
I know, but you see the concept.
Yeah, I see.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That we bought so many lies. Thank you for clarifying that. And then we'd buy the lie. Yeah. Taking back so many things. Okay. So what is it? On Saturday, our focus was to listen to Gaia and her invitation, clear invitation. This says, we are here for you. We've been waiting for you. We're not, we are not the problem. We are waiting for you, souls in female bodies, and then we're going to fly together, and it's the same with all of our various teams. They're waiting for us, and then what is it they have to say to you uniquely about your role in this bigger plan that says, this is our world, this is our field, these are our families, and we will live according to our divine agendas, all aspects of good. And it's a relay team. Sometimes we're active, sometimes we're resting, sometimes we're diverted, sometimes we're active, sometimes we're diverted, sometimes we're resting. You don't have to go full speed all the time. And all that you are doing is going to be blessing and releasing way beyond you. And so it's not going to take a long time. Someone asked me the question in one of my interviews, but Sharon, there are 7 billion people on the planet. How are we going to impact 7 billion people? I said, first of all, the power is not the 100th monkey, it's you. It's one person connecting with 50 billion people in the unseen to impact each of those 7 billion. There's maybe 5 or 6 ready to help them be released and moved. So numbers are mute. Power is you. And what is the meaning for you today? So that's where we're going. I'll do a short journey if you would like. We often do just turn off your camera. You're welcome to do that. You don't have to. If you have a journal or something to write with, that's always recommended. And I'm not going to do a long guide because you guys don't need it. So just, again, you are in a physical body. This does not deplete your body, but it rejuvenates it. The energies that we call forth to surround our circle, our teams to be with us within our circle have permission to be as close to your physical dimensions as you want them to be. And if you need them close, call them close. If you need them to speak louder, use a different language, you can do that. The relationship is two-way. They speaking to you, you speaking to them. And today is a day unlike any other. What is going on out there in the world has never happened before. What you have to shine in some way is here to be called forth. Just let your mind be at peace. Let yourself open to that journey, that path that is waiting for you. You may see it taking you to the inner earth. You may see it taking you to the forest. You may be on a ship, on the ocean, or in the air. But get a sense of your team. Feel their presence wrapping around you. Be with them. Hear their advice, their information, their requests of you. Ask them questions you may have. And we'll see you in just a short while. Okay, so, and you tag the next person. Linda, I see you're unmuted, so I'm going to start with you.
I didn't do that on purpose. Okay. Wow, this one stimulated a lot of reception of words rather than images, except towards the end. And it was really a communication with those that have been very tuned into the earth honoring traditions, I'll call them that. I'm not sure that which is a good word to use, but we were having the conversation about it, and it definitely stimulated, and the awareness that Samhain is coming this weekend, and I'll be leading a group of 12 women to have experiences. The theme is honoring the ancestors. And I do that on purpose. Samhain is actually the time of year that's one of my favorites. And that's the meaning of the time way before it was called Halloween. And this thinning of the veil, which Sharon mentioned. I believe in it. I really do. Partly because so many people have tuned into it for so many thousands of years. So it was more thoughts, but in the very end, I had a clear vision of the face of a beautiful cat with blue eyes. I have no idea what any of that could mean. Yeah. So I tag Arlie.
Well, this one was short and sweet. I immediately saw an X-ray of a spine. My husband has spinal stenosis. It's been a real problem. We've been working on it. He's in constant pain almost. And I saw work being done on it and on the discs in between, and discs moving, energy workers, surgeons, psychic surgeons, all of these different entities had come to help. Then his spine became a surrogate spine for all people with spinal stenosis. And the healing is continuing. And that's where I went and what I saw. And I'd like to call on Audrey.
Beautiful, Arlie. Oh, okay. So first my mom came and she told me the things that have been done so far have set lineages free already. The knowings that are remembered. Big thing was that they told me that my book is going to be coded with Tide and Transmute, and the PTO teams are going to come in also, releasing oppression, domination, and outsider energies for anybody who comes in contact, reads, listens, anything regarding it. And that there will be downloads for healing and transformation for anybody and everybody who comes in contact and reads it or hears about it. Just like, wow, yay. And they reminded me that I am but a conduit of change. So I tag Angelique.
Yeah, long before we were going in this journey, I was already connecting with a beautiful tree. Woo, really beautiful, huge tree. And she came in this journey as well. And well, she was there already. And I find myself in a very ancient forest with my team. And there is a huge tree. This tree is standing in an open circle, and we are standing around her in the circle. We are around her also energetically. My team is encouraging me to kneel in between her roots, and I do so. Then I feel that there is no other option than to glide inside of her. And I feel myself sinking deeper and deep into the mother, very deep into the mother. And the team is near, and I can stay in telepathic contact with them. And I asking, what do I have to do here? And they answer, just go as deep as you can. Just go as you possibly can. And then I do so. And I ask why. And the answer is, here you stand at the beginning of all time and the start of a new era. I stand in the deep, and there is soft light surrounding me. It's really soft, like purple light. The soil has the smell of moist, and it's delicious and full of earthly powers. And then I look up, and at the same time, I feel I'm drawn inside the trunk of the tree and traveling to the top. There I ask my team why, and the answer is, look around, and I see a lot of light, full of light, and I see that the leaves has all turned into crystals, shining and glittering. And I notice that the view I have from here is bright, and it shows as many possibilities as there are crystal leaves. It is said the crystals are the seeds for a new and solid foundation. And now I see that, that it's not the leaves, but they are like, protecting like a shell around the fruits, which the trees is burying. And it's a sort of berries. And the leaves are around these fruits as a cocoon. And the crystal light is shining through. And now I look around, and I notice that all trees around the circle, the open circle, carry the same crystal fruits. And I give thanks and intuitively let myself glide back inside the trunk into the space under her roots. And I find my way back into the open space and meet my team again, and they are happily cheering. Thank you. That's it. Yeah. And I go to Evie.
So I went, as I've often gone before, to a down a path to a red tent structure. It's got a red top, and it's a gathering place for nourishment of all women. And at that place, there is teachings going on. There was a sense of younger generation being passed on baton with the knowledge of the ancient ones and the old ways. And just an environment of care, renewal, and replenishment. I tag Sue.
Thank you, Evie. So the first place I went to was to feel my friend whose cancer has come back. It's in her lungs. There's about 10 nodules. And she's decided not to take any chemotherapy. And she's at peace. So I was feeling her type of peace. And it's that deep, to me, it is that deep, it's the deep peace that passes all understanding. There is nothing in that consciousness except peace, surrender, and acceptance. And I was just being in it. And then I remembered that I was in a meditation a few days ago. Might have been Thursday afternoon, where I went into a state of peace and surrender. And I went to my friend and I just was feeling her peace. And the next thing I saw was the lungs were white, the spots were black, and I just watched. And the first spot disappeared. And then they all disappeared. And the words that came through were, or what I've been told is that there's a communication center within our cellular structure. If one cell gets the message, the communication is instant. All cells get the information. And that is where spontaneous healing comes from. It's how it happens. So I watched that and accepted it. And then in this meditation, then I came back to how I was feeling the peace within me. Well, what it did was it freed me from figuring it out. It freed me from conflict. It freed me from fear, which actually is a continuation from this morning, the release of old trauma. What I have imagined is if I can get past this all-consuming fear, it doesn't matter where it comes from, it's still fear. It doesn't matter where it comes from. That if I can get past, break through that barrier, that vice of fear, then my perspective is free to see things from a spiritual perspective. And that's solution. That's where solution lies. And that's what I was feeling, and what's being hinted is that the more I'm aware of how the dark influences our life and the power of the spirit And I can see how the dark is appearing to be winning. But if I can stay in a place of non-judgment, then I can tap into a power that is a rebalancing, a transformation. But it comes from a perspective. So I'm still working on this, but it's like the scientists who go into the void and they can't, they're out there looking around in the void. And they decide there's nothing out there. There's absolutely nothing out there. And someone says, well, let's look for this particular energy and see if we can find it. And then they go out into the void and they look for that specific energy and they find it. So then they decide, well, if that's out there, there's got to be other things out there. They don't have anything in mind of what to see, so they see nothing. So they decide, well, let's look for this thing, this type of energy. So they all go out into the void and look, and there it is. I have to imagine something before I can realize it, create it, or manifest it. And I believe that's the same sort of thing that's going to happen in as we evolve from human beings doing human things into spiritual beings in the solution. I just think it's going to be something like that. So I'm complete. Cinda, have you gone?
Beautiful. So Arlie, I closed my eyes and I was taken to Richard's spine. And I was like, heal already. What's going on with this? And I saw the energy that, I mean, not to the extent that you saw it, but I was just like, I mean, it was just fascinating. I kept saying, take me to where I can serve, take me to where I could serve, because I had no agenda today. I was taken to his spine. And so I was wrapping it with strips of a opalescent blanket, wrap, 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 wrap. And then I was whispering in his ear, wouldn't it just be like amazing if you woke up in the morning completely healed and no one will know where it came from? And so I love that. But then what is also so weird is while I was in my meditation, I got a text from my dear friend who has the exact same issue that your husband has, Arlie. And I just had coffee with him 2 days ago, and I haven't seen him in probably 2 years. This beautiful older gentleman, and decided to do the same thing on his back and holding space for that healing. And I guess my lesson in all of this is you just don't know when we say the prayer for someone or something or for ourselves, you don't know the work that's actually being done without our awareness. And you just don't know. And this was beautiful. This was beautiful. And I went to other places, but I didn't write it down, and now it's gone. But I don't know. I just wanted to share that, Arlie. It was just so amazing. And yummy, Sue. Yummy, yummy. Oh, and Audrey. So how extraordinary that you've got 5 boxes of your books, and then you were told, that they're carrying this healing energy alone. And when people open them, they'll be healed. And when my book came out, it was the same thing. And the anniversary of my book is coming up in these few days. So there's this energy that I have around healing books as well. And so I just want to say there's no doubt in my mind that there's truth to that, truth to what you are experiencing. And I'm so eager to get my hands on your book too. So yeah, I'm done. And back to you, Sharon.
Yes, indeed. So I was taken to men, because I'm having a lot more men show up in my practice, and I really think it's because there's enough work being done by women that now men, they're in that unconscious space, they're ready to address very deep things. And so they just had me do some very deep work about the old injuries that men have faced that have in the past caused them to shut themselves off in their way in order to survive. So that's what I was called to do. Wow. Really, really good. Thank you. Thank you for all for being here and for doing what it is that you were called to do and just being open to that. So I'm going to read you this poem. It's called Looking Back, Edgar A. Guest. I might have been rich if I'd wanted the gold instead of the friendships I've made. I might have had fame if I'd sought for renown in the hours when I purposely played. Now I'm standing today on the far edge of life, and I'm looking backwards to see what I've done with the years and the days that were mine and all that has happened to me. I haven't built much of a fortune to leave to those who shall carry my name, and nothing I've done shall entitle me now to a place on the tablets of fame. But I've loved the great sky and the spaces of blue. I've lived with the birds and the trees. I've turned from the splendor of silver and gold to share in such pleasures as these. I've given my time to the children who came. Together we've romped and we've played, and I wouldn't exchange the glad hours spent with them for the money I might have made. I choose to be known and be loved by the few, and was deaf to the applause of men. And I'd made the same choice should the chance come to me to live my life over again. I've lived with my friends and I've shared in their joys, known sorrow with all of their tears. And I've harvested much from my acres of life, though some say I've squandered my years. For much that is fine has been mine to enjoy, and I think I have lived to my best. I have no regret as I'm nearing the end for the gold I might have possessed. Life is a give and take, and people in it, and how we give and take to each other. So thank you for being you. Okay, and we're going to place those that we have named by number in our circle. We leave them in the hands of their healing teams and ask that they continue to be blessed, worked with, guided, doors opened in ways that is only known by those in spirit. And with that, I close our circle. Invite you to unmute and say your loves, goodbyes, or anything else. And woohoo, Audrey. Her book is great, by the way.
Oh, thank
Yes,
you, Sharon.
congratulations. Awesome.
Let us know when it's available, right?
The
I
house,
will.
yeah,
Thank you. And
What
thank
is
you,
Audrey's-
Cinda.
What is Audrey's book?
yeah. Thank you, everyone. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work today. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.